If you're still alive and you're watching this video, congratulations. You've survived the zombie apocalypse so far. But I'm guessing that you're beginning to notice that your food supplies are running a little low. And maybe you're interested in gardening. Well, join me today as I share with you some of my thoughts on gardening, but more importantly, how to survive the zombies in your garden. Hi, I'm Gardener Scott, and I've been gardening for over 30 years, and for almost 20 years, I've been teaching gardening. I've been encouraging people to become gardeners, but it took a zombie plague for people to finally recognize that they can grow their own food. When all of the food started running out from the stores, well, a lot of people didn't make it through. Gardeners did. So it's great that you're willing to take this next step to grow your own food, create your own garden, or maybe expand the garden you already have. But always remember that zombies might be nearby. That's one reason why I've got my gardening dog, my zombie protector. She's the first line of defense to let me know when there might be zombies approaching when I'm outside. But I still have to keep an eye out every minute. My preferred method for growing food crops is in raised beds. Raised beds that are relatively close together, that almost form a maze between them. Because, as you probably know, zombies travel in a straight line. They have trouble moving around corners and following a different path. So even though the height of these beds is not enough to stop a zombie, the placement of these beds is enough to slow zombies down if they should come into my garden space. You really don't want to fight zombies if you can avoid it, though a little later in the video I'll give you some ideas of how to fight the zombies. Instead, you want to stay away from them. You want to try to create a barrier between them and you so that you can get away and they become confused by how to follow. Always have your escape route in mind anytime you're outside, but especially when you're in the garden. I specifically chose this style of greenhouse because I was thinking about zombies. This greenhouse has 2 doors, and any structure that you're going to be in regularly, like in a garden and in a greenhouse, you need to have that escape route planned. With only 1 door, I would be trapped in here, especially with these polycarbonate panels, which are almost indestructible. But if I see the zombies approaching, I can enter. They'll probably follow, but I can close the first door and exit out the second. And while they're focused on following me through the first door, I can escape. Now, if they break through that first door, no problem, because now the second door is closed. They'll be confused, they won't know where I'm at, and I can be gone and in a safe place. I could also use a setup like this as a zombie trap. If there's only one, I'm willing to take on 2 zombies. I can actually allow them to follow me in here, close the first door, and then go around for the attack. I built this enclosed raised bed area as a way to get away from the zombies and also as a way to deal with the zombies, because I don't want them coming back. Any zombie that I can take out is one less zombie that I have to worry about in the garden. Now, there is one entrance here, but there's the opportunity for me to escape out the back corner. This entire structure is enclosed with metal fencing. Now, some of the fencing, if you push against it, it's not going anywhere. But this corner specifically, I have some weak spots, so I can actually push out this fencing. During the growing season, I use this as a trellis for my tomatoes and any other vining plants. But I know that I can get out by just pushing on this corner. Any zombies that attempt to follow aren't going to be able to get out. This is just enough to keep them from following. And for those zombies that have followed me that are at the corner right here, well, now it's time to either run away or deal with them using a zombie weapon. And this is one of my favorites. It's a heavy-duty pry bar that's perfect for going through the openings in this fence. The sharp point and the weight behind it makes it very effective. I can go right through the eye socket into the brain. It's a wonderful zombie killer. Now, you have to be willing to do it, to be face-to-face with a zombie and to practice, because you might not get it right the first time. But with the right structure and the right weapon, you can survive in your garden. When I have to get something from my shed, I spend as little time as possible in the shed. There's only one entrance, so this could easily become a trap for me, which is why this is where I store my chainsaw. Now, chainsaws can be very effective zombie killers, but you do have to get up close and you open yourself up to a lot of danger. With a wood shed like this, it's also a very effective tool for getting out the other side of the shed. So, if I happen to be here, I see the zombie approaching, I can shut the door, fire up the chainsaw inside. They're going to be attracted to that noise. And even as I cut an escape hole, they're still going to try to get in this entrance of the shed. In the meantime, I can be gone, either leaving the chainsaw running inside to attract them while I escape, or to give me the opportunity to come around and take out a zombie or two with this killer. I have a lot of my gardening tools situated all around this garden space to always be ready. Now, this is my tool storage, and while these pruners aren't much of a weapon and this trowel isn't much of a weapon, they could be last-minute resorts. But this axe that I have leaning against this storage, this is definitely going to do some damage on a zombie's head. I love this archway to grow my vining flowers up. It just adds that extra little beauty we need in a world like we have today. It also acts as a funneling point for the zombies that might see me working outside. That's why right here, I've got my mattock. This is an awesome tool. It's got weapons on both ends. So for more than one zombie, you can be going in both directions, taking out two. Again, with practice and with experience, and I wouldn't recommend this your first time that you're encountering a zombie, but if you're going to put a tool in your garden, consider one like this. And be sure to keep all of your garden tools sharp, because you never know when a simple spade is going to have to become a zombie killer. The point is going to be effective, but a sharp edge and a sharp point is going to be much more effective. And always wear gloves when you're gardening, because when you do get up close, it only takes one bite on one finger to make you the zombie. So protect your fingers, protect your hands as you're dealing with these tools. A tool that you may or may not be familiar with is a hori-hori. This is an outstanding tool. It's for digging out weeds, for planting bulbs. It has inch marks on it so you know how deep the hole happens to be. And it's a great close-up zombie killer. And if you've got two of them, well, you're probably going to be able to survive that last zombie that makes it through the shed or through the greenhouse or through that enclosed bed area that you built to try to keep them from getting to you. Always think ahead. Always be ready. Hori-horis are a great opportunity. If you don't have any at this point, get some. With a little planning and preparation, and yes, courage, you can be a gardener during these times and grow food for your family. But I do strongly suggest to minimize the amount of time that you spend in the garden. The more time you're outside, the more time you're vulnerable. And I think I've spent too much time out here already making this video. So I'm going in to get behind my barricaded doors, and I'll come out periodically for short periods of time to put my seeds and plants in the ground and then take care of them. I'm Gardener Scott. Happy April Fool's Day, and enjoy gardening.